Dylan Danis' camel toe made of cake.
Jidion forgot his do-rag.
John Fury flipping tables.
And KSI's forehead is ready for prime time.
We got it all in this episode of the Kickback Lounge podcast. Logan Paul is set to fight Dillion Danis October 14th, and the press conference just happened, and it's pretty freaking crazy. There's tables being flipped, like we said in the intro, and check out this picture of, this might be the funniest thing I've seen in a press conference ever, I'm not going to lie. This is probably the only good thing that Logan's done, but here it is. Yes, this is a cake that Logan Paul made of Dillion Danis getting knocked out. And as you can see, we'll zoom in here. That is a cake coochie, a camel toe, you know. And this beef has been going on for a while. I don't know if you've been on Twitter or if you are X and maybe you've been under a rock and you haven't seen this, but Logan is getting engaged. And I don't know if you've seen his video about like how he's like falling in love with this girl. He met her, and then like 2 weeks later, he's like, "Oh, she's the one. She's the one." I actually feel bad for Logan Paul.
I do too,
and that's very hard to do because of he's kind of a dickhead.
I mean, he's a guy of status. You know, any guy of status seeing their woman being straight hosized. How would you say that? His woman being I'm trying to think of what the word is. Spread across the internet. For little boys and girls.
She was spread across something. We have to go back a little bit in history to kind of explain this one. There's been beef brewing with Dylan Danis and Logan Paul for a while now, some relationship stuff. You know, they're both like doing content and they just don't like each other. And there's been shots on Twitter daily, of Dylan Danis posting Logan Paul's new fiance. Her name is Nina Agdal.
By the way, I'm very proud of myself. This is the longest I've ever gone without sex since I started. Obviously, it's driving me crazy. I am struggling. I need penis inside of me. ASAP. Like, all I want is like a big fat sausage just destroying my body. So if any of you guys know a good dick that doesn't have STDs on it, I'll take it right here.
Yes.
Posting her with Leonardo DiCaprio. There was one with Brad Pitt. There, pretty much every celebrity you can think of, she's been entangled with.
Yes, and you forget where this all began. Supposedly, Dylan Danis' ex-girlfriend slept with Jake Paul, and then they took some jabs. The brothers took some jabs at Dylan, and that's kind of what made this entire thing spark.
Yes, this is a scary thing for all men, especially like commitment's hard enough. You know what I mean? And when you commit to somebody, I think there's like videos of him proposing. He talks about they met and he knew right then that she was the one, and like how they fell in love. And you kind of see like she's like 35 or something like that. Yep. And Logan Paul is younger. He honestly has more value. You know what I mean? Like from just his like net worth, all the stuff he owns. And
correct. I mean, she was a runaway model, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she does that anymore, at least not as often as she used to in her prime, in her heyday. So she's on the downturn. So, her being with Logan Paul is kind of like a re-spark for her career. I don't think her name has been said this much in a long time.
I've never heard of her, have you?
No, never.
And, you just see, so he puts out this video, like, proposing to her, and how Mike Malek, his co-host on Impulsive, was talking about, they're never separated, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of seems like she's always asking, girls always do this, they're like, oh, when are we going to get married, blah, 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 kind of pushing the envelope on this sort of thing. And it's just kind of sad to see how he's like falling in love with this girl. And then
in tears.
He might not have known about her past, maybe he did. I'm sure like there was a little bit of vetting there, but like he probably didn't know the extent that like all these pictures with celebrities, But these two, Dillion, Danis, and Logan, are gonna duke it out.
Can't wait to see it. Honestly, I don't know if that's out of my tax bracket, but I don't know if this is very common for models in the industry. But to see her get thrown around this much,
She's getting thrown around like a deflated ball in New England back in Tom Brady's day.
So taking all that into the press conference, we get there, the tension's high. I think people expected a fight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I expected some fireworks. When I seen this going live, I'm like, oh, this is gonna go down. But I don't think anybody could have predicted exactly how wild this thing was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people, like common people who probably don't know that even Tyson Fury being on this card and KSI also is like kind of crazy.
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury, sorry. Having both of them on this card together, Tommy Fury and KSI, also, I think makes the tension that much more great. It was pretty cool to see, though, that like Tommy Fury's father kind of stole the show. But yeah.
Yes, like you said, we have KSI going at Tommy Fury. That will be interesting. I think Tommy Fury is probably going to take that one, even though shout out to KSI. He looks like he's very dedicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, this press conference has everything, like from cake. Like, he brought out a cake of his knocked out opponent, which is like, that's the funniest thing ever. What do you think about that?
That was hilarious. I thought Jidion handing out the entire crowd was like the funniest part. You have him just taking the hat and throwing it to the crowd, and then you have him taking the cake over and having them eat the coochie. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, so speaking of the hat, Dillion Danis brought out this hat from when Logan Paul's probably biggest scandal ever when he went into the Japanese suicide forest and recorded it, and his career almost ended right there. So there's already jabs going back and forth. Logan had to know that Dillion Danis was going to bring up this Nina thing, and it got disrespectful. I don't think they'll ever be friends like after this. You know, when people fight sometimes.
And the thing is, like, Logan says that this doesn't affect him in his personal life and his relationship with Nina, but I mean, everyone in America knows that they're probably having some type of argument or discussion.
There's no way this doesn't affect their relationship. Maybe not right now, but at the first instance, he'll start thinking, like, she'll start doing certain things where he's like, weird, you know? And then this is just one of those things that eats away at you, because if you're with a very promiscuous female, it's hard to lock it down, especially when you have as many options as Logan Paul.
Yeah, I agree. And then you take into account that these guys are getting married at this point in time. I think they're definitely going to have to come back to this and be like, yeah, what the fuck are we doing?
And it's so public.
It's so public. And you have two people, like you said, of status. When you have two people of status like that, things usually don't end well. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, afterwards, Logan Paul's walking back to his dressing room, and YouTuber and streamer Jidion decided to go and talk to him to see if he can rekindle his fire with him. It did not end well for Jidion.
I think Jidion was kind of trolling. If you don't know, there was some beef there between Jidion, Logan, and Jake, where everything was cool, but I guess Logan was sitting next to Jidion and some like boxing event, and then he asked like to switch seats, and Jidion did it. It was like some harmless thing, and then Jake made a joke about it. He's like, "Hey Logan, let's switch seats," you know, trying to troll him. Like, it was really unnecessary.
Yeah,
this is the hard thing about, like, it's very hard to like Jake Paul just because he does like dumb shit. There's things you respect about him, like his work ethic and stuff, and like doing the fighter pay and everything. But then, like, he does stupid shit like childish shit like that.
Right.
Where it's hard to like even like him. And
take him serious. I mean, as a professional. I think that it was a little bit of an overreaction. We'll get back to the fight. I think there was an overreaction by Jidion, if I'm being honest with you, to just go and press this guy, especially during all this press conference stuff.
I think he was doing it for content.
Correct. I think he was doing it for content. Like you said, I think he drove, like, it was like 8 hours or 6 hours or something to get there. So definitely for content, but I just think that...
Well, he also flew to London, so...
Yeah, he flew to London.
Or wherever. It was somewhere in England, but I think it was London.
Yeah, something like that. He's definitely a clown, I think. Logan Paul got the last laugh on that one.
What happened there?
Oh, with Logan Paul and... Yeah, so Logan Paul turns around, and he's like... He finally acknowledges him. You know, Jidion's trying to get his attention. He finally acknowledges it.
Damn, nigga. Spit it out.
So Logan Paul turns around, finally acknowledges Jidion's actually trying to get his attention. And then he's just calling him a clown. He's calling him corny, calling him a cornball. And then they just go back and forth. And he's like, oh, I'm a clown. I'm a clown. And you just see Jidion walk away and kind of eat it. He's like, oh, well, I'm just going to go home.
Like, how do you press somebody and then get hurt?
Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to go home and I'm just forget it. Yeah. So, I mean, it does definitely show how cowardice he is as a person.
But I'll say this, during the press conference, you see they start to bicker like, oh, your wife's a whore, blah, blah, blah. And then John Fury, Tommy Fury, and Tyson Fury's dad, he was basically like, all right, let's keep it to boxing, you know, keep this professional. We're all men here. And then as it goes on, he starts to get agitated that they're acting childish. And then he just loses his shit. He's like kicking tables and like pushing everything out the way. And Tommy Fury's face, he's like, oh, what the hell? He's probably seen it before, like some wild shit before. But then this whole thing just descends into chaos, and it's awesome, man. I'm here for it. Even though it's probably like some people are saying, oh, it's staged. I'm here for it. It was funny. Let us know what you guys think of this whole thing. Are you here for the celebrity boxing fights? Who do you think? Like, what's your predictions on this?
Yeah,
I think it's October 14th, so this will drop before then. But it's. I like the press conferences, and I like to see all the bullshit go down.
Wild, crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely entertaining. I think it's definitely entertaining. It'll be interesting to see like where the celebrity boxing thing goes. Like, this has been going on for what would you say, like 5 years,
something like that, yeah,
give or take. So I mean, it'd be cool to see. I mean, Jake Paul is the guy who obviously made this stuff popular, so everybody wants to do it now. But I want to see what this turns into. Are we going MMA next? Are we going fucking Muay Thai? What are we doing?
Yeah, once we get into MMA, then it will be real interesting.
You know what I mean?
Especially if like Jake Paul and people like that get into it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely just shows you, anything's possible, especially with the entertainment business. Like, you can definitely get into anything you want. It comes down to commitment. What can you do next that's going to put you there? So,
yeah, let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 and like the video.